Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's get started.
Straight from New York, yo, this handsome man,
You
yo.
are now tuned in to Aljo, the funk master. Watch your grill, you'll get knocked out cold fast. And talking shit, now we talking facts. Whether mount or off the back, you in trouble, came to burst your bubble. I don't shelter punches, they find home on your mind about a double. This the weekly scraps. You don't need a map, GPS, I'm right here to lead a dash.
right.
The world doesn't know it needs, but I grow disease, planet fucking name and the fame. Only legacy remains. Remember the name, Aljamain Sterling.
It ain't safe,
Motherfuckers.
What's up, guys? We had a great fight week. Louisville. I thought the fights were pretty good. The one thing I will say, obviously, the main event did not come without some controversy. Now, hear me out. I know we need to protect the fighter's health, but guess what? We're already in the hurt business. We're getting punched in the head and kicked in the knee. You're going to get hurt. That's the whole point of what you people out there are watching, what I love to watch. Everybody loves to watch this. So when the guy gets hit with a good shot, stuns him, cracks him, he goes reeling. Yeah, he might have turned his back. Cannonier wasn't looking at his opponent, but the moments he was able to turn back, he was showing that he was still with it. Although he was getting cracked, he had to try to gather himself. That's the point. If you're being hurt, can you defend yourself long enough where you're not going to go out? And I know people are going to say, well, why do you have to wait for them to go out before you jump in to stop the fight? That is fair. That is more than fair. But I think in that sequence, I think it was just wrong. I think there was a whole lot of things wrong with that. I think Herzog, if he were to have stopped that fight when Cannonier had turned his back the second time, I think it's cool. But then not after he turns his back, he recovers, well, not recovers, but trying to recover. He's trying to defend himself. He's still in the fight, still showing that he wants to be in there. He clearly knows what's going on, but his equilibrium's all over the place, which is why he was stumbling all over the place, turning his back, didn't know what the hell was going on, but he knew he was still in a fight. So follow the dots. Now, if Herzog watch all that happen, and then when Cannonier gets to the cage, he swings a big right hand haymaker, doesn't do much. I think Nassourdine, I can't even say his name, Imavov, he did a good job of covering up and then trying to throw back. I think he threw two punches that Cannonier defended and blocked. So for me, come on. You don't jump in after he throws a punch and then he covers and defends. He's intelligently defending himself. I think it's hard to deny that. Now, you're going to say, some people are going to say, well, he was hurt. He wasn't going to get much better. This is all speculation. We don't know. Pat Barry versus Czech Congo, one of the craziest comebacks. Frankie Edgar versus Gray Maynard, one of the craziest comebacks. This is why we enjoy the sport, because it is fighting. It is fun. You just never know what's going to happen. But you take away a huge opportunity. You take away a paycheck and a chance to possibly reinsert himself into that title conversation. And now Nassourdine, it's nothing on him. He didn't do anything wrong. He just did what the ref told him to do. Stop fighting, because the fight's over. So again, I just look at that. I just think it was a premature stoppage for sure, especially in the main event. And of course, Herzog's one of the good ones. He doesn't make mistakes like that too often, in my personal opinion. So I kind of give him a little slack in that regards, because there's some other refs out there who seem to jump into these main events and kind of insert themselves a little bit too much for my liking, especially when there's so much on the line. It's not about the intention. I know the intention is good, but then what is the point of fighting if you know one of us is going to get hurt and cracked, or maybe both of us get cracked at the same time? Do you stop the fight? No. You got to let these guys continue to fight, especially if he's standing. It's like, damned if you do. If he had went to the ground and he covers up and he's moving and he makes an action, you stop the fight. And then if you're on the feet and you're still trying to show that you're in there, if you're still showing that you want to be in there, I don't think there's a reason to stop the fight. And if you guys can give me an example of someone who is just in there just taking damage, yeah, the ref's job is to protect us from ourselves. 1,000%. But when the fighter shows that he still wants to be in there and that he still can compete, it's not like the guy's in there, he's a zombie, he's throwing punches, that's not doing nothing. It's just like, all right, brother, you're getting crushed. There's nothing you could do to defend yourself at this point. You're a walking punching bag. I gotta stop this fight. that is more than fair. But when the guy throws a punch back against the cage when his back's against the wall and then covers, I just think the timing of that sequence was just a little bit off for my liking. And if it was done earlier when he turned his back the second time, guys, I have no reservation. We could all speculate like, oh, he turned his back, but he was trying to get out of there. Yeah, like if someone's chasing you and they catch you by surprise, you kind of want to create some space and get out of there so you can kind of see what's happening in front of you. So I don't see why that should be any different than in a fight. Like, it's almost like people expect the machismo of, if you get hurt and you turn your back, you automatically lost. No, it don't quite work like that. Sometimes you try and chase this guy down, and now you're trying to find the perfect shot. And in that time period, it gives your opponent some time to recover and get his wherewithal and his wits about him a little bit better. And I don't know. I just don't feel like Jared did anything wrong. That fight was a lot closer than I thought. I thought originally it was 3-0. But then I went back and I watched it. I think Imavov might have won the second round. I think he landed some cleaner shots, was looking very crisp. The only thing I don't like that he does is when he's measuring with his hand and he's pawing and his fingers are just always out in front of your face. And I get it. Like, you're in your zone and you're trying to do what you do in the room, which is controlling the lead hand and then looking for your shots because he's a crisp striker. But I think it leaves a little bit too much room for potential eye pokes. And guys, nobody wants to deal with that again, right? We don't want to see a main event ended or points being deducted because your tactical way of setting up shots is potentially dangerous. And I mean, it's kind of ironic, potentially dangerous in a sport that's dangerous, right? You know what I mean? But yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. Again, Herzog is one of the better ones in my personal opinion. I've seen fights that he lets it go and gives the fighter every chance to get back into the fight. That was one of them where I was just a little bit confused, where some of his fights in recent time, I've seen it and it's just like, oh, I think he's about to stop it. Oh, he let it go. Congrats. He let it go and this guy got back into the fight, or this girl got back into the fight. Now for this one, I feel like Jared had the chances when he was turning around and whatnot, but it wasn't like he was turning around and just covering up and whimpering or cowering away. It was covering up, trying to see where he can get in and land a shot. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to give too many different examples that might piss people off. So with that said, great fight either way. Congrats to Imavov, man. I think he's kind of turned a corner. There was, I forget which fight it was, where I felt like he was very talented, but I felt he gets tired, and I don't know if he had the gas tank to be a potential title challenger, because you have to be a 5-round fighter. And if you could barely get past 3, what are the odds that you're going to be able to go 5 rounds with the champion, especially of the likes of Izzy, who's always in great shape, Duplessis, who's now, I've seen, always looks like in great, phenomenal shape the last few fights. And then, of course, Sean Strickland, gas tank from hell. Chris Curtis, gas tank from hell. Like, these guys who would come off the couch and go 5 rounds, no problem. That was always my skepticism about him, but I think he has finally arrived. Although there was some controversy, I would have liked to have seen those last 2 rounds, but it looked like he was getting stronger as the fight was going. And I do wonder if that was the beginning of the end for Jared Cannonier, or would he have been able to weather the storm and get back into the fight? We'll never know. So find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. I'm kidding. Let me know, guys. Did you guys think it was an early stoppage? Let me know in the comments below. I think it was an early stoppage. If you don't think it was an early stoppage, put that in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button. And with that said, some other good fights. The kid Carlos, I think it's Carlos Prat or Prado, whatever it is, Prats. He fought the Radke kid. Great fight. I got to watch that back this morning and just seeing some of the stuff that he was doing, being a much longer guy, controlling the range. And, you know, normally guys on the outside who have the reach advantage and the height, I think they try to move their feet a lot and they just try to pick their shot, touch you up. He was kind of like holding the center, staying in there, but holding his range with the lead hand, switching, looking for those kicks, looking for those knees. And then he lands from the open stance. He lands across. And when he cracks Radke, you hear him go, woo! You know, I lost it. I was like, yo, this guy is fun. That is, for me, when someone could have that showmanship in there like that, this is just absolutely, like, yeah, there's some sportsmanship and there's some being humble, as everyone wants to say. It's hard. How do you, I don't know. I think everyone looks at martial arts a different way. The sport and training and everything, and everyday practicality of it. Yes, be humble, respect your peers, respect everyone. But when you're in the octagon, man, we're fighting for checks. You got to do stuff to sometimes get in your opponent's head. And I think when he landed that, Raki got hit with a good shot. He's hearing the taunt and the showmanship from Prats. And then he comes in. Now I think he's kind of like, damn, is he whooping my ass right now? I don't know what's going on. And then he lands a beautiful step-in left knee right to the liver, puts him down. Game blouses. That guy, for me, I'm telling you right now, that is someone to look out for. He is, I don't know, he did a lot of good things. And there were some sequences where he was looking for that knee and almost got clipped, or he got grazed with some of the overhands or the crosses from Raki. But I think all in all, he was able to eventually set up what he was looking for. And when he found his range, man, he landed that step-in knee beautifully. He landed that cross beautifully. And he didn't even really need to do much after that. The ref saw it. He went down, covered up, and that was the fight. So that, for me, that's a prospect to watch. I got to check out his resume because I don't know who else he's fought thus far. But I think he's a fun fighter to watch. What else we got? We got Kai Asakura coming to the UFC. Very excited for him. Rising champion over there. I can't wait to see the fun matchups. Someone said on Twitter, and I agree, they should throw him right into the deep end. Former champion, right? Rising's supposed to be one of the top organizations out there. ONE FC, Bellator, PFL. He should go right to the top. Give him the likes of a Piotr Jan. Two high-level strikers, and I'm telling you, that is going to be fireworks. I think Kai has this demeanor about him. Even when we have trained with him a couple of times, his grappling is not the greatest. It's solid. But his striking, his awareness, his eyes when he's looking for shots and he's lulling you to sleep, and then he hits these sprints of energy, pop, 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 and these combinations is so quick, and then he's out. That, for me, is kind of that chess match. I want to see how he does with Piotr Jan, a guy who's more stationary, plotting his feet. Kai plots his feet too, but he has more of a little bit of a bounce, and then he darts in, and he's quick, blinding fast, and he knocks guys out. It's going to be a little different. He can't soccer kick guys in the head and knee them in the head when they're on the ground. So that's going to take a little bit of an adjustment. And I'm excited to see how that goes, because it would be funny if, not funny, it'd be kind of messed up, but if there's a down opponent, he just soccer kicks him in the head because he's like, oh, I thought this was Pride. I thought this was Rising. I thought this was ONE FC. No, brother. This is America. This is the UFC. We got a different set of rules over here. Over there, it's a little bit different. You got to change your whole game. So to make those adjustments, I'm very excited for him. Great prospect to watch. I'm telling you guys, keep your eyes on Kai Asakura. And with that said, we got our guy Pumi Nakuda from South Africa, raised in Jersey, came to Long Island, trained with us while he was in college at Hofstra, now 8-0 with a first round finish. I forget how many finishes he has now. I think 5 out of the 8 wins or finishes. I don't know what else he has to do to get a shot. He's becoming the belt collector at this point. CFFC defended it. I believe he defended it as well. Now this PFC Peak Place. And I think he has some other belts as an amateur as well. So he's just collecting and collecting and collecting, stacking his resume, getting more experience. And I think he could fight for a UFC world title today. I'm not gassing it because he's my guy. If the guy was good and just decent, I'd be like, yo, keep your eye on him. But I'm telling you, this guy is good. He's fast. He can wrestle. He has great jiu-jitsu. He can strike. And he throws combinations like nobody's business when he's on the feet. And he touches and he goes. And for me, that's an exciting prospect. Very dominant. Barely gets touched. And I want to see how far he can take this thing. So I'm excited to just watch his career, just being someone who's watching from the beginning, growing and growing and growing, and elevating his skills. He was one of my main sparring partners, one of Marab's main sparring partners. The guy is good. So with that said, I think that's a wrap. But shout out Nerd Focus, guys. Make sure you check them out at nerdfocus.com. You can check them out also on Amazon.com and order you some. I don't have any promo code or anything. Nootropic energy drink. Shed some love. I just re-signed with these guys. I'm super happy and excited to be a part of this company still. And I think the sky's the limit for Nerd Focus. So I'll see you guys next time. Remember, if you like my shit, subscribe to my shit. Or spin it back fist, baby. Bow, bow, bow. But before we go, Jake, I'm sorry you're going to have to edit this. Before we go, how about Dominic Reyes getting back in the win column in a big way after getting cracked? I thought it was the beginning of the end for him. I thought the Dominator was getting dominated again. But no, He turned back to Hanyak, who is a stud, glory kickboxer, vet, UFC vet. And when he had him hurt, especially those calf kicks that he was throwing, I thought the fight was beginning of the end. And then he did what he does best. He hits that pull counter. I don't know what it is. It's like he just has a great eye for this. Bink, 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 bink. And he landed a couple of times and was able to put Jacoby away. And for me, to see Dom get a win in such a big way makes a big statement. And I do wonder how his chin is going to do going forward. But for now, we got to see it tested. He held up, and he was able to get the finish in a big way and make a great comeback. So looking forward to the rest of his journey. Because if he had lost, I believe that would have been 5 in a row. And at that point, you're kind of asking yourself, you're at a crossroads, what do I do now? Do I retire? Am I going to get cut? Is my job on the line? You would think usually UFC former champs get that extra leeway of taking extra L's in a row. But they've given Dom a lot of good chances. They gave him a great opponent in a fair matchup where it was winnable for both guys. And he shined through with great colors. And I don't know. I feel like Dom's a good dude. I've hung out with him a couple of times with some of the UFC events. I feel like he's a good dude. So good things. I like to see good things happen for good people. And of course, Dustin Jacoby, great dude as well. But sometimes it just doesn't go our way, you know? The good guys don't always win. And sometimes, I don't want to say the bad guys, but sometimes the good guys don't always win, especially when there's two good guys. Someone goes up, someone goes down. And that's just the nature of the sport, you know? So with that said, congrats to Dominic Reyes. And Jacoby, hold your head up. Look forward to see you in there again. Now, seriously, now we're leaving, and we're out.